Hello. Welcome back to Are You Ready for Your Inspection? So today I want to talk to you about basically what will be the new from January 2024. So I want to go through some things that actually came through with the response from the consultation from Department for Education. So Department for Education, the early years foundation stage, there are some regulatory changes, and this is the government response, the consultation response, which came out on the 27th of October. So I'm hoping if we break it down a little bit, so we have a clear understanding of what it means. Now, one of the things I want to put across to you is the fact that actually they have, out of 54,000 providers in the UK, only 2,600 people responded. Okay, 2,659 responded. Only from a private and voluntary group setting, a manager 1,039, 405 childminders, schools 245, a practitioner 210, local authorities 186, maintained nursery schools 170. A few parents as well responded to it, 99, childminder agencies too, and one Ofsted responded. So for me, I just think the 2,659 responses to this consultation is really small. So one of the things I will say to start with, that if we have a chance to have a voice, then please let's get this voice out there. Whether our voice is, we are saying something and our voice is not being heard, but at least you've had that voice. Just when we don't have that voice, we hear a lot of grievance about it, but if we don't respond, then actually we can't. What can we say? What can we do? So I wanted to break down a few things with you. Obviously, I'll get Anthony to put the link in the show notes for this so that you can actually see about it. And there were 25 proposals in total, and literally looking at things from EAL children, quite a lot about childminders and the new EYFS framework, and also the things about, the level 3 and the maths. So I want to, and it may be that I have to do a few little podcasts because I want to keep this thing short and sweet. So literally thinking about things, I want to go through it. So the first one, because I thought it's easier, because you can read it, but sometimes people like to listen to it. So I thought I'd actually do a few ways of doing it, and I've already done a TikTok video. I've already written it out in Jigsaw newsletter. But I thought I'd do a podcast and a YouTube. So I hope you are well. Thank you for listening. So one of the questions is, what do you think the expectations in the EYFS framework for all provider types should be in regards to how they support children whose home language is not English? So at the moment, up until, and this change will take place, take place January 24. At the moment, it says providers must take reasonable steps to provide opportunities for children to develop and use their home language in play and learning, supporting their language development at home. And the majority of respondents, 84%, supported to change. They wanted to change, and they wanted to make sure that the most popular option was May. So the government response says, I'm just going to read it out to you. It is saying, the aim of changing this requirement is to alleviate what could be an unreasonable request of some providers, especially if multiple home languages are represented by children in the setting. This change could allow settings to spend more time focusing on the acquisition of English, and there is evidence that the longer a child with EAL spends in an English-based setting, the stronger their fluency and competency with the English language becomes. Okay, so having carefully considered the responses as well as evidence indications that a change could result in more children with EAL accessing early years provisions, The Department for Education is proceeding with allowing flexibility around this requirement by changing the wording from must to may. So for me, that's actually going to be, I feel that that's going to be taken away as a reporting requirement. And actually what it's saying is the change will offer providers flexibility to best address the support needs of individual children as indicated by data from the survey of providers. And I actually do think that actually, you know, the findings from this survey, I feel a little bit anxious about, if I'm honest with you, because it says that 27% of providers that currently provide opportunities for children with EAL to use a home language within their setting said that if the wording in the EYFS changed from must, it was likely that they would offer more places to children with EAL. And I don't get that. I don't get that actually someone has written that and someone has actually put that actually if the change goes from a must to a may, they're actually going to be offering more children with more places for children with EAL. Surely that's not inclusive. Surely that is not inclusivity, equal quality and diversity. We are not supporting that. And actually that is really sad in my eyes, really sad. So basically, it then goes on to say that 83% of providers that currently provide opportunities for children with EAL to use a home language within their setting said that it was either not very likely or not likely at all that if wording in the EYFS changes, they would cut back or stop the numbers of opportunities they provide. I don't get that either, because I know that that's not going to be true. I know that actually there are a few settings out there that we go support and change their settings that actually do value that. And children with EAL, it's really hot topic. It really, they want to make sure that those children have a sense of belonging, sense of worth, self-esteem, boosting their confidence, collaborating with parents, and they're going to carry on with that. But I know that there are going to be a number of settings, and if you're listening to this and you're thinking, actually, it's gone from a must to a may, why do we need to do it? Please think again, okay? Please, please, please think again. Those children, we're going to be seeing more of those children with English as an additional language. That's going to be invisible. They're going to be the ones that actually, they don't have an understanding of what we're going to be saying. And how hard is it for us to actually recognise common words of their home language? It's not hard at all, okay? And there are many ways that we can do it. We can do it through talking tins. We can do it through learning, talking photo albums. And I just think it's really sad that actually that they're going to change that. And one of the things that really makes me sad even more is that the whole thing said that they would offer more places with children with EAL. And that to me is the biggie of this one. So I want to share this with you because I want you to literally think about what you're doing to support those children with English as a home language. And if you haven't done so already, please think about what you're doing. Think about what you're doing now, what you're doing, the so what's the impact, and now what are you doing to make it better? And there are so many settings out there with children with English as additional language. Quite a few, like yesterday I went to one and they had 45 children with English as additional language and bilingual. Well, and actually, fair play to them. They were doing all that they could, which was amazing. And we had that open and honest conversation and saying, well, actually, if it changes to May, would you do it? And luckily, this setting said, no, we would carry on doing it. But actually, how many out there of you are going, well, actually, it's not a reporting requirement now because it's May, it's not a must. So this is one of the first things I want to take with you to listen to this podcast. And if you're listening to it, thank you very much. But I just want to take that first point, and I will do more other podcasts of what the findings are of the Government Response Department for Education response for the Early Years Foundation stage. But I wanted to just give this one a podcast on its own. Really think about what you're doing. If I was talking to you, about those talking photo albums, and you know, if you're interested, I'll get Anthony to put it, but there's a code, and if you put Jigsaw code, Jigsaw 5 in this code, you get a discount on them. What are we doing to support those children? Please don't give up, because if we give up on those children, and yet we still need to promote English, I get that, but actually, where's their sense of belonging? Where's their sense of understanding where their culture is, and how we can support that and working in collaboration with parents? So that's where I want to end this podcast. I'm hoping it will help you, and let me know how you get on. But please, please, please do not forget those children with English as an additional language, because it's really, really important that we still carry on what we're doing, and still really important that we are recognising their cultures. Okay, let me know how you get on, and I will speak to you next week. Take good care.